Hey, so good morning. It is Monday, March 8th, 2021, and welcome to Savannah Community Headlines Live, a weekly gathering around the virtual watercolor cooler, and we've been doing this 1 year. Can you believe that? 1 year. Oh my gosh. So hosting today is Catalina Garcia Quick and Ken Weisner. Hey, and I'm Marjorie Young, and we are excited to be streaming on Facebook and YouTube. You can also find us. Where can we find this stream, Kat?
Shout out to the Isle of Hope News, Ed Yannette and Chris Brantley over there. And as always, the Metropolitan Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And shout out to Alfonso and the incoming new board. We just had an election here not too long ago. So more to come later.
Very good. So I met Ken a year ago on a Zoom call up in Hilton Head, and he had the most fun with the introduction. So let's have some fun this morning, Ken. That's what your business is all about, is having fun.
Good morning. Good morning, Savannah and everyone else. How are you? So here's what we'll do. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to point to the person that I call out their name, all right? So hold on. Where's your name? How does it go? Everybody's name?
I have to hold on a second. Hold on.
So, because I'm new, that's why I'm doing this. So, okay, so everyone, when I say I have the name, point to that person, okay? So, good morning, Savannah. There you go. Good morning, Edwin. Good morning, Catalina. Good morning, Jeb.
Jeb's over there.
Oh, there we go.
Good morning, Marjorie. And then good morning, Ken. Like I'll hide behind the watercolor.
That way.
So the next game we're gonna play is How Did You Meet Marjorie? So
you didn't tell me you're gonna do that one.
Well, I've got a few of them. I got to keep you on your toes. So Edwin, how did you meet Marjorie?
Oh, I met Marjorie through Dr. Deidre Graham.
Okay.
Very good.
All right. Thank you very much. Jeb, how did you meet Marjorie?
You know, I've known Marjorie for years now. I can't remember. Probably through United Way was when I moved up.
And Kat, I met you a year ago. How did you meet Marjorie?
I don't even remember how I met. I know who I met Marjorie through. I met Marjorie through Diana, like the whole Diana Stacey Jennings crew way back like 10 plus. I don't even know how long or where.
Super. And then Savannah, how did you meet Marjorie? I know the answer to this one.
Yes, through you. Yes, you were raving about her show, and you were so kind to, push me on. So I'm thankful for that and happy to be here.
Push. Okay, so one more question. How did you get to Savannah? So let's start with Jeb.
I grew up an hour north of here, so this was coming to the big city, and I still live an hour north, so drive in every morning.
Awesome. Kat.
Oh, we got Robert.
There we go. I got to Savannah. I actually moved here 35 years ago. I was 2 weeks out of high school, and I had a friend that was here. I came for the summer. I stayed for a year and a half and went home for a little while, and then decided I liked here better and came back. My current husband did have something to do with that. I've known him for 35 years as well, so do the math.
Hey, Robert, hold your thought right there, okay? So, Savannah, tell us about your journey of Savannah.
Well, I actually live here in Bluffton, but I run a sustainable nature school, and Savannah is a fantastic city that understands the balance between nature and city life. So we are down there all the time. Forsyth Farmers Market will be there in April, and we're doing a community litter pickup this month, the 27th. So
super cool. We can't wait to hear more about you and your deal. Okay, Robert, you got 2 questions to answer. What was the first one? Where's Robert? Oh! Robert, how did you meet Marjorie?
I can barely hear you guys. There's a lot of static.
Uh-oh, he's the one.
Hello?
I can hear you fine.
Yeah, there's a lot of static going on in the background.
Okay, so
hello?
So what do we do?
Maybe
Marjorie?
go out and maybe
Yeah.
maybe
Can-
pop
can you
out
guys hear me?
and pop back in.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. So go ahead. Let's do the second
I
question.
can't
then.
understand a word they're saying.
All right,
Okay.
Marjorie. Marjorie, how did you get to Savannah?
So I actually came down. I was married to an Army doctor, and he got stationed at Fort Gordon, and that was in the early 90s. But he was from Savannah. So I've been coming down here since 1980.
Very cool. All right, Robert, do we have you?
Robert, we might have you have to come out and come back in again.
Yeah,
Robert.
I can hear you. I can hear you a little better.
Okay.
Somebody sent him a text.
Okay, all righty.
All right, and then my story is I went
Okay,
to Francis
all righty.
Marion College in Florence,
Okay.
South Carolina, and ended up coming to Hilton Head on a visit, and then pretty much fell in love with it and been here for like Marjorie since about 1982.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I'll kick it back off to Marjorie. Go ahead, Marjorie. You're on.
What are we doing? No. And that's so much fun. Can you your business is actually having fun, isn't it?
Yeah. So basically, if you're going to start with me, I'll go real quick. My little elevator speech. Try to get out of this. Here we go. There we go. So Beach Play Company is my brainchild. I am the chief playmaker. Basically, what we do is we use games and play to connect people. And I work basically in 3 buckets. Right now, I'm working towards families that are coming on vacation. That was one of the big pieces. So when these people are coming and renting big houses and bringing a bunch of people, we do a beach Olympics, or we do fishing, or we do whatever to make their vacation the greatest ever. And I'm starting to actually book up pretty good with that. Work with sports teams, which I just finished a couple local girls teams, one at May River and one at Hilton Head. That's always fun, and doing the team building, and that's actually pretty easy because they're team and they're building, so it's all good. And then the last one is corporate business. When I can get people to the beach, that's great, but I can go anywhere and do what I do. But using games and play to connect people is pretty much what we do, and moving people to closer relationships.
Well, it's perfect now with COVID and being outside. I'm sure your business is picked up. So.
Well, it's not as busy as I'd like it to be, but we're really focusing on families right now because the businesses don't seem to like get it right now, and it's okay. But the families that are coming on vacation, like I just booked a couple of them that are birthday parties that they didn't get to have last year, and they're having this year, and they just want to have a great time. And we can do everything from catering to whatever they want on whatever Hilton Head to makes it fun. And then the last one I just got a call yesterday was basically asking me, hey, we only have 5 of us, but can you come and have fun with us? Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Gosh.
So,
Ken, how can we help spread the word of mouth about you? What do you want people to say about you?
that basically that they got the experience was an aha moment where they learned something about themselves and they learned something about their team that they never thought that by having fun. The old-fashioned way most of us were taught was by sitting in a classroom and being lectured. What we do is what's called experiential learning. So you experience the learning. So that moment of like, oh, I just learned something about myself might not happen at that moment. It might happen when you're driving home. It might happen later on. But anything to share with people that, hey, it's a fun experience. Most importantly, it's just about having fun and learning a little bit about yourself and letting your guard down.
And you have some more good news. You became a grandfather yesterday.
I did. My grandson, Henry Hank Kenneth May, was born yesterday at 9'10", 8 pounds, 11 ounces, and 21 inches.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's wonderful news. Now,
Well, congratulations.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you introduce Savannah? Tell us how you met Savannah and what Savannah does.
Okay. Hey, Savannah. Savannah's going to tell you what she does because I only got a little bit of it. So Savannah reached out to me about helping do an event that actually never happened, but I was so intrigued by what she was doing because I love working with kids that I said, hey, you need to meet Marjorie. She has this really cool show and you can get the word out. So that's kind of how I met Savannah. And so I'll let Savannah take over and tell the rest of her story. How about that?
Yeah, that was great.
Savannah.
Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Solved.
There we go.
Thank you. So yes, I met Ken actually through a woman I know who's fantastic. Her name is Kim. She's the Google Movement, and recently she had her 1-year celebration for being in business. And her mission is similar. We're all, trying to help children and families, and her mission is to get kids up and out. And they've worked together before, so. I reached out to him and he told me about you all. And I was like, oh my God, that'd be awesome. Thank you. So I'm happy to be here. But what I do is I run a company called Evergreen Explorers, and it's a company that focuses on teaching children about sustainability and all about our nature neighbor friends. Our spring season starts this Wednesday, and we're going to be learning all about pollinators and life cycles, all that cool science stuff. And my overall mission is to, as I say, help build the bridge between suburbia and nature. And we're just trying to educate children and teach them that the landscaping that you see across the street is really a home. And we do that in fun ways. Games, learning labs are my favorite. All sorts of stuff.
So, Savannah, are you a teacher by trade, and what made you start this company?
Yeah.
Is it, or are you integrating it into classrooms, or is it after school, or is it?
Yes.
How's it working?
So right now, since I am frankly new, I launched in November, and my spring season starts this Wednesday. At the moment, I'm just offering after school. So we're meeting Wednesdays at 3:30 at Du Bois Park in Bluffton. And that's for children pre-K through 5th grade. My background is I am studying to be a teacher. And through COVID, I realized, because I used to be a kindergarten teacher, that this is a niche that needs to be addressed. And I totally support Tinkergarten, and they're doing fantastic things. But we have 2 different ways of doing it. I really, really had the passion to want to teach kids about how things worked, and specifically who these animals are in nature and whatnot. So
were your parents, did you get that training from your parents? Where did you get the love of nature from?
I would love to say it came from someone, but I really think it's just integrated in me. I just have a passion for nature. I think maybe like many of us, it's kind of been a space to always in my life take a step back and reconnect and kind of frankly readjust to what's important. And it's also been a place to inspire adventure in me. And now that I have a 3-year-old little boy, taking him out on adventures is like my favorite thing. Seeing that little spark in his eye of, oh my God, this is so cool. And then in the meantime, I get to teach him, this is why plants grow. And this is, how all this works. I think it was just born into me, to be honest.
So let's pretend that we're all your kindergartners. Let's have a lesson. What would be a good lesson?
Okay. Well, tomorrow at the Hilton Head Market, I'm going to be teaching kids about pollination and how butterflies help pollinate flowers. So, good morning, class.
Good morning.
Good morning. Does anyone know how a butterfly makes flowers grow?
I bet these 3 other guests how they do. They're all into farming. Edwin, Robert, and Jeb. Jeb, I bet you can answer that. Edwin, Robert, can y'all hear us?
Yeah, I can.
Well, only thing I can think of is that butterflies pollen when they touch a plant, the pollen actually is left on the I guess the wings or the legs of the butterfly, and then when the butterfly flies from plant to plant, it leaves I guess some remnant of a pollen.
Yes, absolutely. Good job. Yes, thank you. So not all plants can pollinate by themselves. they need help from our pollinator nature neighbors. So butterflies specifically will land on the flowers and the pollen will get on their feet. And then when they are sucking in the nectar, they, receive what they'd like, and then they fly to the next flower. And then that pollen gets inserted into the stamen, and then the flowers can further germinate and grow. And it is, I'll have to brush up on my facts, which I'm doing right now, but it is a third of the reason why we have food and, everywhere. So our pollinator nature neighbors are very important to us and help grow our food. And, I really am excited to teach kids about that. Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Miss Savannah. Tim, welcome. We're pretending we're in her kindergarten class, her new outdoor class. So I heard that a lot of the wildflowers down in Texas died. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are feeding the bees with sugar. Is that a good idea?
No. I mean, it can be to a degree, but you have to be limited with that. When it's better if you want to help them to grow your wildflowers yourself. There's plenty of seeds to plant into the ground and help make those things grow. So the bees can come and drink through that. Try to keep it as natural as possible, just because the excess sugar and that water can be a lot to their bodies and it can shock them and overall not too helpful. Yeah. Great question.
Awesome. Gosh, well, Savannah, I hope you know about SCORE and the SBDC, and the city of Savannah has programs for new businesses. They're all free programs. Just please make sure you reach out to one of them.
Sure.
They really, really will help.
I've heard of SCORE.
Yeah.
Hey,
Thank you.
Savannah.
Yes.
Savannah. Hey, Commissioner Eccles here. Yeah, you don't know me, but I have 7 children, right? So one of the things that we did with flowers is that, there's a male part of a flower and a female part of a flower, and we used flowers to help teach our young children about the birds and the bees without human anatomy, right?
Yeah.
So because it's a great beginning concept to understand that, and you can talk about it without sexualizing it. And it is a wonderful thing this time of year for parents to do if they've got a young child. So it's a fun thing. I mean, I'm not a biologist or a botanist, but even I can understand that. So
yeah, I completely agree. It is a good intro if that's a conversation that needs to be had. The pistil and the stamen, it covers a lot of generalities. So it's a perfect lesson. I agree completely. That was very smart.
Fabulous. Well, we're so glad that you could share your good news. And Ken, thank you for introducing Savannah. And, we definitely want you to come back on. We've been airing most Mondays. We are now going to be airing every single Monday with, we've got some more partners that want to be connected with this. So it's kind of an open source water cooler. So
yeah. Well, I'm very flattered. Thank you.
Oh, well, make sure you contact SCORE SBDC in the city. There's lots of help there.
I can email you all the. I'm a new SCORE mentor, so I can actually email you. So
yeah, and
we'll hook you up.
There's stats out there saying if you have a mentor, you're actually going to make more money. So all of us need
help. I'm finding quickly that this is my passion, and I am happy to do it. I'm happy to spend late nights making this work, but the more help, the better.
Savannah, maybe even with Edwin and Jeb and Robert, like during Earth Day, maybe you could do something in Savannah, Georgia, in Forsyth Park. Jeb, is there a place that she could give a lesson?
Yeah, we have our community spotlight, and actually she mentioned the Get Up and Go. They've been coming almost like every other week to the market.
Yes, I spoke. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, I spoke with Ashley, and through Kim Gugo, she heard about me and she was like, hey, we'd love to have you come to the Earth. You guys are doing a full month of Earth Day, and she invited me to come. So I will be there April 17th. Yeah, and I'm going to most likely be doing, I'm still deciding, but I'm either going to do a learning lab or we're going to take recycled materials and make little crafts out of them. So I'm happy to do as many lessons as I can, especially at Forsyth. It's a fantastic farmer's market.
Do both of them.
Yeah, why not?
There has to be some synergy with Robert, Edwin, and Jeff. So let's go through what the reason why you guys are coming on today. Edwin, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
I'm Edwin Thomas. I'm the owner and farmer of.
Yes. Hi. Good morning. My name is Robert Mustafa Maxwell. I'm the owner of Alake Georgia Pecans. There's a lot of static, so I guess you guys can hear me clearly. I won't be able to hear you guys totally clear. I'll try to make out the best I can. But I'm the owner of Alake Georgia Pecans. I'm a native of Savannah, Georgia. I'm a graduate of Savannah State University with a degree in environmental science, with a minor in chemistry, with a focus in nuclear engineering. And so we do 54 different flavors here. We actually harvest all our pecans right here in Savannah. We're mainly located, we do a lot of harvesting on the west side of town, Carver Heights, Cloverdale, Liberty City, all of West Savannah. I'm still harvesting now. I would have probably did the interview from one of my harvesting areas, but I just decided that I would just go ahead and do it at home. But I enjoyed the farmers market. I've been with Jeb and I've been knowing each other for a long time. I've been a part of the farmers market since 2015. And so it's been a while. I've been there. I've had a chance to meet some very nice people, very educated people. I like Kristen. She's very nice, very helpful. The farmers market it's been a blessing. It's really been a blessing. It allowed me to be able to expand out. It allowed me to be able to look at the farmers market and look at what we provide to the public from a whole different perspective, especially since the pandemic. And I really, myself, I just enjoyed myself. I've really grown. The farmers market has really helped me to grow as a scientist because I get a lot of questions about, how I harvest my pecans, how I'm able to tell what different species of pecans that we have. When do I know that we're going to have a good year? How old is the trees and stuff like that? So I get a lot of questions from the farmers market. I'm sorry, Marjorie.
No, I'm going to add maybe you and Tim Eccles.
No one can hear me?
There could be some synergy there. Tim, with your container.
Yeah. Hey, you know what we do at a lot of our biomass plants is we burn pecan hulls. So after he shells those pecans, and a lot of the big shellers around Georgia, then we'll haul them to, for example, D.S. Smith in Riceboro near Savannah, or in Albany at Procter & Gamble. And those hulls will not be wasted. They'll be put into that boiler. And, of course, there's scrubbers on that to clean the air. And those pecan hulls will then turn back into energy. And that's sustainability right there when you're using all of it.
Wow. Well, we just, I have a product that we just put inside Ace Hardware. I'm sorry.
Definitely connect with Tim.
I said we have a product, the pecan smoking shells. It's called Alake Georgia Pecan.
Oh,
yes,
gosh,
ma'am. We're in Ace Hardware. So we actually take these shells and I'm sorry.
No, we have a really bad connection.
Hello?
Here. We can't hear you. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What?
Anyhow.
Oh wow.
Let me pull Edwin on now.
Hey, can I ask Robert one question?
Yeah.
Hey, Robert, do you do the bourbon pecan? Do you do the bourbon? Sure. Do you flavor your pecans?
I can. I can. Yes, I can. We do 54 different
Okay.
flavors. So it ranged from a sweet sour tin buttery all the way down to a Zinfandel wine.
Okay. Cool.
Fabulous. Thank you, Robert. Edwin, let me hear about your business.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm Edwin Thomas. I'm owner and farmer of CJ's Produce. I'm actually born and raised right here in Savannah. I went to Benedictine Military School. I proceeded on to go to Fort Valley State University, where I majored in mathematics. I'm actually a 4th generation farmer. I'm actually a registered member of the Grown, and I just started farming just off of a hobby. My father gave me a challenge, and the challenge has been sticking with me for the last 5 years. Bell peppers have actually been my best product. The only thing I haven't been able to do is to get the color bell peppers, but any type of bell pepper, hot pepper, banana pepper, I can pretty much grow. If I can touch it, it will grow.
So I've got a question for you, CJ. My daughter is out in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I mailed her some broccoli seeds. So what do I tell her? How does she start? What do you do?
The biggest thing she has, if she's going to do in containers, make sure it's something deep enough, because broccoli roots actually grow pretty deep.
Okay.
And to be able to be supported. And if you can't get your hands on real cow manure, I rely on Black Cow. It comes in a yellow, red, and black bag at Home Depot, Lowe's, or any hardware store.
How deep should the container be for broccoli?
For broccoli, I would say it will probably need to be anywhere from at least a foot to a foot and a half deep.
Awesome. Okay. So once you grow all your produce, how do you get it to the farmer's market? How do you distribute it when you harvest?
Well, I've actually been trying to get to Forsyth Farmers Markets, very popular. But I've been just using social media, family and friends. Sometimes I'll even just donate. I'll just bring it, just take it. Because sometimes I have such an abundance, I have to give it away. And some people I've just given so much away to, they don't really, they're like, I still got stuff from the last time when you came. So I just try to do whatever I can and give whoever wants it without any problem.
So we have a question. What is your secret to growing peppers?
My secret, I'm a very hands-on grower. So I tend my plants every day. I touch each individual plant. I get their own love. And I even play some soft jazz sometimes when I'm in the garden.
Wow, I love it. I love it. So that's true what they say. I mean, I have read that plants have an intelligence.
Yes, the vibrations from the music actually, I guess, gives the plant some type of tentative. So I tend to use soft jazz or either old school R&B.
Well, Edwin, we've got Jeb up here. Do you guys know each other? Edwin?
I've seen him around as many times as I've been through the farmer's market. So, like I said, I've been trying, and I've heard the list is still very long to get. But when I get my chance, I'm definitely coming.
Well,
Edwin, thank you. Jeb, what can you tell him?
So, Edwin, shoot me an email when this is over. Just let's connect and let's get you up on the list.
Okay. And Savannah, I would actually like for you to actually come. I have a community garden that's in Brownsville, Color Brownsville.
Mm-hmm.
And we're actually trying to get that started to where we have an outdoor classroom. So I know your knowledge will definitely help where the things I don't know, you can expand upon what you know.
Yeah, I am down to come. Sure. After this, I can exchange emails as well, and I'd be happy to come. Thank you.
That's what I love about the water cooler. And since we can't do it right now due to COVID, this is how the magic happens. And Jeb and Savannah definitely get in touch with Robert and Edwin. Jeb, is there any update with the grant or just what information do you have?
So we are getting ready right now. So in addition to the Saturday market that everybody knows about, we have Farm Truck 912, and that is sponsored in part through the YMCA Healthy Savannah Reach Grant. And we've got the farm truck up and going. We've had a little rough February just due to bad weather, but last week was a good week. And then we also have our 912 Food Pharmacy, which is a USDA program that works with 4 clinical partners, connecting low-income patients who are at risk or have a diet-related chronic disease, and we're able to give them vouchers to get fresh produce. And so that program, the second cohort of that kicked off last week. So we are super excited to be getting going.
Awesome. All right, hold on a second. I've got to put this down. And I bet with spring right around the corner, you have lots of produce there available.
Yeah. So, before I took the job here as the ED, I was actually one of the vendors at the market, and I always loved this time of year growing. Just because, all the greens and all the root vegetables were so much fun. And then there's always just the hope. There's such a sense of optimism this time of year and getting your seeds started and all that stuff, getting ready for the upcoming season.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the update. Commissioner Tim, you have an update for us too. How are you?
Yeah, things are going well. I did a piece in the Savannah paper, I guess 2 weeks ago, about the difference between the Texas situation and the Georgia situation when it comes to our grid, and just tried to explain to folks that we've got a different system in Georgia that incentivizes the power company to do preventive maintenance, winterization. In Texas, as much as people like deregulated markets, it kind of is a little bit chintzy when it comes to winterizing and doing preventative maintenance and having a reserve margin. And so when they had a nuclear plant fail because of a pump, and they had some coal plants that wouldn't start up because of a frozen coal pile, they had heavy natural gas usage in homes, which then meant plants couldn't get it because they didn't have firm transportation. They were just in a mess. Not to mention about 20% of their wind turbines didn't have a de-icing mechanism on the blade. So it's kind of like an airplane. If you get a lot of ice buildup on that wing, you can't take off, and you can't really operate the plane without getting it off. And so those wind turbines were rendered, ineffective. And so it was a mess. We spend a lot of money in Georgia, Marjorie, making sure that we've got a heavy reserve margin, which means some days we're wasting money because we've got too many plants spinning. But when you really need it, you've got to have it. That reliability is so important because, as we saw, when a water treatment plant went down, people couldn't get water. So they were in their home, they were cold with no water. It was just a disaster out there.
Yeah, I'm so glad we have you at the helm, making sure stuff like that won't happen, or hopefully won't happen. That was a mess. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, when hurricanes come in Savannah, Georgia Power is sending, as everybody's leaving on those contra lanes, getting out, Georgia Power's coming in there, setting up these camps for workers, with generators and, campers that sleep a whole bunch of guys, with shower trailers and a food tent, so that those workers are there ready to go when your power goes out. And sometimes we don't need that. It's not as bad as we think, or the storm goes on up, hits Hilton Head, or goes on up beyond that to Myrtle Beach, and we wind up wasting the money. But that's just part of what we have to do to minimize the outages in Savannah and along our 100 miles of coast.
Wow. Thank you for helping and making sure it's all taken care of, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a perfect system, but as Robert knows from his study at Savannah State, nuclear engineering, you've got to have a little bit of everything, right? You've got to have some of that baseload power that runs all the time. We've got a lot of solar. We're adding more solar, and that solar works even if it's cold, as long as there's no snow. If there's snow laying on the panels, those panels aren't working. That doesn't happen too often in Georgia. It happened in Texas. So they had everything that wasn't working, and I think a lot of people have learned lessons, and Lord willing, we won't have anything that bad in Georgia.
Tim, tell us about your projects, the container homes in Tybee. Can you give us an update on that?
Yeah, we're doing a couple things out there. I'm trying to help the island get some EV chargers. There are none out there. Savannah just got a whole new batch of them, and of course, City of Savannah is using Nissan Leafs for parking enforcement. I mean, Savannah's really, Nick Deffley and those guys over there, they're doing a great job. Tybee, I've been meeting with Mayor Sessions, and so we've got those chargers that are going to go in, in multiple places, but certainly at the Marine Science Center up on the north end of the island, near the lighthouse. And then I've been helping them with a solar canopy for kids that come out there to use their new playground or to have an educational program. So that's about $81,000 that I've been raising money for. And then Mike Goldberg, my buddy who's building this container home over on Bright Street, it is the coolest thing. It's a 3-story container home. You go way up to the top, and the oak trees are kind of growing around his porch. I mean, it's just really cool. And we've got that container area, in Savannah already, and the same guy that built that is building Mike's facility.
Tim, can we get a tour of that sometime? That would be so fun if you could visit with the cell phone and give us a tour.
Well, we're not only going to do that, but I'm asking Mike, when we do this sustainability tour of homes out there on Tybee, I'm asking Mike if he would let us put his container house in there. He's a bit shy. He, when I popped his stuff up on Facebook and everybody started loving it and liking it, he said, no, I don't want to be on Facebook. I mean, he's an old guy. So, but there's so many great sustainability things happening on Tybee. And I met with Sean, their city manager, the other day, and I said, hey, let's do an energy town hall. Let's have a sustainability tour of homes.
I love that. And Rotary International has just added sustainability as one of their new categories to direct money to.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the rage, and I think you're going to see more of it with President Biden and his administration. I think you'll see more electric cars, more solar. So there's a lot of exciting things. We want Georgia to be a part of that supply chain, a part of that labor chain. That's important, and that's what I'm telling my Republican colleagues in Atlanta. Hey, let's make sure that we're a part of this supply chain, and it's not all in China. Let's get it in Georgia.
Very good. Very good. Well, thank you for that update.
I have a question for the farmers. You're talking about sustainability, and you're talking about solar panels. What about hemp? Are people growing hemp in Savannah and in the area?
I was actually
right now. His name is.
Go, Robert. Go ahead. Was that you? We got the connection's really bad with
Robert. Yes. Okay. Yes, there's a gentleman by the name of Mike Robeson. He runs a company called Savannah Sauce. And they're in the process, his wife and he and his wife are in the process of creating a hemp farm. Not exactly sure when the project is going to take off, but he sent me some information about a week ago, letting me know that he's about to create a hemp farm. But this is Mike Robeson of Savannah Sauce. And matter of fact, Edwin, you may want to talk with contact Tybee Island Farmers Market, Nancy and Steve. They're great. They're just as the farmers market is just as good as Foresight. They're excellent. I highly recommend Tybee Island. But then that was just something that you mentioned earlier about trying to get inside Foresight. We're also about to start a farmers market out at Savannah State University, which will be started by Mike and Tracy Roberson, which is the owners of Savannah Sauce. We're not exactly sure what time, when the farmers market is going to be open up, hopefully between March and April. But we do have a farmers market that's about to get ready to take place on Savannah State University.
Great information. Oh, Jeb, we have a question for you. How does the Foresight Farmers Market leverage the SNAP program to help customers as well as farmers? Oh, you're on mute.
Oh,
Yeah.
So we actually can double SNAP benefits. So if somebody comes and swipes their EBT card for $10, we'll actually give them $20 in tokens to be able to spend at the market. And that not only supports them and being able to purchase more produce and food, it also supports farmers such as Mustafa and the other 35 vendors who are able to cash that in as regular money.
Okay, thank you for that. We have another question. Tim, can you see that? How can farmers benefit from solar, and is Georgia providing any incentives for agricultural solar programs?
Yeah, we were just talking about the residual hemp after it's been used to pull everything out, and you still have some bulk, right? And so we're trying to get a truckload of this down to Dublin to test it in the boiler to see the characteristics and how it burns, because you can use it just like those pecan shells that Robert's business has for energy, but you just need enough of it. And right now, hemp farming, it's growing in Georgia, but it is not substantial enough to probably produce enough truckloads to be able to have it, where it would be worthwhile for the hemp farmer to truck it to Dublin to put it in the boiler. So I think that's coming down the road. With solar, we have so much solar in Georgia, and we're adding more, thousands and thousands and thousands of acres of it out in a field, and you're going to continue to see it grow.
Tim, is it growing because there's so many tax incentives? What is, and well, I know you're also a huge proponent of it, but what are the tax incentives?
Yeah, there's a 26% federal tax credit for solar now, but the amazing thing is a solar developer putting it in a large field can make money on that with Georgia Power. So Georgia Power is buying all of the energy. The solar developer is renting the land from Farmer Jones, who maybe used to have it in pine trees or used to have it in cotton or something else. And the developer and the farmer are getting a 20 or 30-year contract. And so with that kind of security and assurance, more and more farmers are doing it. But the main thing, Marjorie, is that solar has gotten so cheap that it's actually cheaper than coal.
Interesting. Thank you. Ken, does that answer? Go ahead.
Yeah, I have another question too. Now I'm going backwards to solar. So I was told that was interesting. You said that 20 or 30 year leases, but I was also told that once they put solar on a farm, the farm is done. Is that true?
Well, I don't know what you mean by done, but it's going to be tied up.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be done if if that developer is leasing that 500 acres or 1,000 acres. But think about this: with a pivot goes in a circle, right? And there are dry corners. There are dry corners in those fields that a farmer could put solar in those 4 dry corners, right, and really have 2 sources of revenue. They've got their agriculture that the pivot's watering, and then the dry corners that are now solar that gives that farmer, that gives her or him that additional revenue stream, allowing them to diversify. So I think that's a brilliant idea, really.
Savannah?
Yes. So all of the sustainability talk is amazing. But speaking with solar panels and farming, there is actually a farm that is in Bluffton, Georgia, which I believe is a little bit further out, but it's called White Oak Pastures, and they have solar panel fields, and they specialize in regeneration of the land, and they use animals to help the solar panels. So there's vines that will grow up on the solar panels. They'll feed, they'll throw all their animals through there. And so it's really this great balance and a great model that, frankly, brave farmers, because this is a new channel of farming.
And Savannah,
taking on.
Yeah, that's sheep, not goats. You don't want goats out there. You
want
sheep.
Thank you.
Sheep. But then you can plant pollinator plants also. So if you think about, we were talking about bees earlier and butterflies, that those bees and butterflies play a very important role in the ag ecosystem, right? And so instead of planting Bermuda or turf grass or gravel, you put pollinator plants out there that have deeper roots that actually enhance the ag ecosystem, right, by giving back. And we've got a number of solar developers using pollinator plants, including President Carter over in Plains on his field.
Yeah,
I just love
fantastic stuff. It's amazing. I love to see it.
So,
have you seen the movie 100,000 Beating Hearts about White Oak Pastures?
What is it? I didn't hear you.
A movie called 100,000 Beating Hearts. It's about White Oak Pastures.
No, but I will definitely look into that.
Yeah, it's actually a great documentary about that farm.
Yeah, we have, I volunteer at Whippoorwill Farms with Marissa, and one of her other volunteers, I believe her name's Katie. We work on different days, so I believe her name's Katie, but she has done work with them before. And I think she was, I may be wrong, but I believe she was working on like a documentary type film because she's a student at SCAD. So that's how I learned about them and their fantastic work. And they really are doing fantastic things. It's interesting to see. I want
to make sure you all keep in touch because there's so much synergy with this group of folks this morning. We don't have that much time left. And before we go, I want to do 2 things. I want to make sure we show our cat that's for adoption. And then I want Ken to finish off with something fun. So be thinking, Ken, I'm totally putting you on the spot right here. Here we go. Hold on. So this, oh gosh, I don't even, what's his name? His name is Knight.
His name is Knight. Yes, his name is Knight. He's like super, I'm reading his bio in Coastal Pet Rescue right now. He is, let's see, he loves attention. He is very snuggly, loves to hang out on your lap. Very, very sweet, has a little bit of kitten energy left, but he will basically snuggle with you or go play with a leaf or a toy, either one. So he's over there with Lisa at Coastal Pet Rescue. Look at him, he's so cute.
He is cute. My daughter has a black cat, and I really never paid that much attention to black cats, but they are strikingly beautiful. I mean, he is beautiful.
I can't remember. Your daughter's cat has a super cool name. It's
Archimedes. Archimedes
yes.
was born on 3/14/15. Hi.
Okay.
She's a math engineering gal.
Very
So,
good. Well, Knight's information is going to be in our feed. He is over with Lisa Scarborough over there. Shout out to Lisa at Coastal Pet Rescue. And I think Liz will put all his info down in our feed. So if anybody's looking for a really snuggly kitty to hang out with, Knight's your buddy.
and before we go, next week, St. Andrew's School is going to be on. They're launching a new lecture series. So Scott Searcy will be on talking about the different lectures they're going to have. And of course, they're all virtual for now. So anyhow.
We've got actually coming up at the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce here in Savannah, all this talk about hemp and so forth. There's a gentleman, his name is Bryant Jimenez. He owns a business called Logo Box, and they are actually a hemp farm here in Savannah, just outside Savannah, and they make a lot of products out of hemp. They're actually hosting their grand opening on March 18th, and so all that information is on the Hispanic Chamber's website. So lots going on in that sector here in Georgia.
Any other announcements? Anybody from the chat section?
Kat,
Tim, you have an announcement?
Kat, tell me that again. The name of that hemp farm?
It's called Loco Box, and the gentleman's name is Bryant Jimenez, and you can find his business information on the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce website.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Hey, Marjorie.
That.
Every Saturday night, WTKS 8 p.m. my radio show, Energy Matters, and this week we're going to be talking about natural gas. We're going to be talking about the 5 utility energy trends that are going on. So love to have everybody tune in. Or if you miss it, just go anywhere you get your podcast, type in Energy Matters with Commissioner Eccles. We're everywhere. We'd love to have you listen and know what you think.
You got it. Ken, you want to end our session with something fun?
I do. Liz, did you get my question? I was hoping Liz could throw it up on the screen there. So I see if she, there you go. Thank you, Liz. What I know now that I didn't know before COVID for the 1-year anniversary. And that's got to be it's got to be short because we don't have a lot of time. So let's let Kat start with that because she hasn't said much today, and I know she wants to. What I know now that I didn't know before COVID.
That we need to invest more in science education.
Okay, awesome. Go ahead.
Yeah, that you need to invest in a face light so that you can be lit up for all your Zoom calls.
Okay. Anybody else? Let's go around. Marjorie?
So I stocked up on a lot of food, and this past weekend I looked at my COVID hurricane food, and it was all expired because we're still in COVID.
Oh.
Marjorie, you learned how to make bread, remember? You did.
On TikTok.
You did learn how to make bread. TikTok. I learned about TikTok.
Very cool.
I learned about TikTok too.
Savannah, what you got?
Mine's from a different angle. I was going to say the willpower of people. I mean, it's just been amazing to see those who want to help, and the maneuvers they're able to navigate through in order to do so. So, different angle, but that's what I know now.
What you got, Jeb?
So actually, very similar to what Savannah said. I was going to comment on the generosity of people. We've been very lucky that last year the farmers market was up 25% sales wise over the previous year. People really came out to support small businesses and support the organization as a whole.
Very cool. Gentlemen, farmer guys.
Less has been more.
That's a good one.
That's what I've learned since the last year.
Very cool. So I got 2. One is that I can tell the refrigerator no after 6 o'clock. Stop eating. Not going to happen. And 2 is I learned how to brew kombucha.
Yes.
How do you do that?
It's not hard. It's just a matter of having the vessels and the tea and the sugar and what's called a SCOBY, which is the scientific guys can tell you what that is. It's the yeast kind of thingy that makes it ferment, and it is good for you and it's fun. So like if you like kimchi or you like sauerkraut, right, you would like kombucha, and if you become like addicted to it, it's like $3 or $4 a day. So you better start making it on your own. So
Where did you get your SCOBY from? Because I have a friend that wants to do it, but she can't find one anywhere.
I can send you the information. So I bought a kit actually my daughter bought me a kit from Amazon, and that's how I got started. And then one of her friends' boyfriends sent me all these bottles, and like so all of a sudden, so really you need like black tea, sugar, a SCOBY, a pickle, save your pickle jars, the glass pickle jars. So get a couple of those. And I mean, a SCOBY, eventually they grow, and you have a SCOBY hotel and you keep growing it. It's really fun. It's really fun. And then, like you said too, I think the other thing I learned is that people are kind. Bottom line, they're really kind, even though they're scared in a way. But people are kind to each other, which is great. So thanks for answering the question. Everybody learned something from COVID.
I think here on our program, the one thing I could say we probably have all collectively learned is how resilient Savannah is, and how our small business community here has been able to sustain itself and pivot and get creative with how they continue to do business. I mean, some have suffered greatly, but they're still here. And so I just shout out to our small business community for really being able to work together to continue to make this city a great place.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank everybody for being on the show. Savannah and Ken and Jeb and Edwin and Commissioner Tim and Robert. Where did Robert's connection? We had a time with Robert's connections, but thank you so much. And Ken and Catalina, thank you for hosting.
I'm off to a SCORE meeting.
And I'm off to Rotary. It's Monday.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We need to get together and do a little fun team building, team bonding event with everyone one day.
You got it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. Hey, Kareem, it's so good to see you. Savannah State had a wonderful conference last week. I was so honored to be their keynote speaker. My goodness. Yeah, they have suffered, but we are Savannah strong for sure.
Yeah.
So anyhow, we are too. Catalina, real quick, can you talk about honors event?
Yeah. Honor is she's put her information in the comments. She is with an organization called Heart, which they are looking for recycle and upcycle artists. They have partnered with Earth Day and Keep Savannah Beautiful, and they do a number of lecture series, and they're advocates for artists, but they're also an educational platform for artists and students. And tons of information. HARTinit.org is their website. I encourage everyone to check it out if you're interested in learning about art, if you're a student in school, or if you're an artist yourself. They've got something for you there at all levels.
Ken, what's a fun way for all of us to say goodbye? I'm putting you on the spot again.
Okay, I got it. So do you have another way to say goodbye other than in English?
Adios.
Ciao.
Ciao.
How?
Avita.
I always think of a Sound of Music. So long.
Yes.
There you go.
I was just thinking that.
That's looking in my head too.
Anybody else? Anybody got any other good ones? Any languages that we don't know?
Nope.
Check you later.
Check you later.
Adios.
See you next Monday.
Adios, right?
5 seconds. 4.
Adios. Aloha.
Aloha.
2.